to the functions, try to make appearances.
That's great.
But it was like about 10 to 15 years from the early days where I was just gung-ho, ballroom. But I didn't put that time to waste because it was it was helping me improve my craft. Whether that be writing or with the magazine and the online stuff, or whether it be designing clothes, or my voguing performance. All that. I can see how people consider a ballroom to be almost like an audition to, prepare you to move on to something bigger. But not forget where you came from either.
Ooh, never that. All right. And that was awesome. That was so awesome right there. Check it out. I know that you said that you mentioned in the beginning you're graduating. You went to school.
Yep. Actually, I have classes right up to the weekend of graduation.
No, that's right. Shout out to that. You know what I mean? What's it like? What are you studying? What are you going for? What are you doing nowadays?
I'm studying graphic arts, graphic design. That's what they used to call it, graphic arts. Yes. Graphic design, and actually, the only reason I'm able to have gotten this close to finishing school is because my current job that I've been working at for the last 8 years, I work at a law firm in the marketing department, doing all their graphic layouts and stuff for publications and things that they put out. So for me to get that job without a degree was just from experience, and part of the experience I used to get that job was doing those publications, doing those layouts, doing flyers for the ball community.
Okay,
so
you better do that.
So I just kind of took that and branched it out into the real world. But since I've been working there, they allowed me a flexible schedule. As long as I give them full-time hours, I can work my classes around it. So that's the only way that I've been able to get this close. But this has to be the last semester because there's no way I can keep up this schedule. I'm basically working and going to school at full time.
You are full timer.
Yes, and it's I'm over it after.
Oh yes, at the end of the day, you over it. Trust, honey.
I'm on vacation right after that following week, so.
Oh, work! Congratulations, by the way. Oh, that is so awesome, and it's so great to hear that.
Oh, one thing I wanted to bring up too is just all the work and stuff that I put in or whatever. I just pretty much just started archiving everything on the web, and I have lots more that I need to archive. But at some point, it led to people way over in Russia contacting me, wanting me to come over and do a workshop on voguing. I was like, first I was like, is this some kind of mail order bribe scam or something? Because I'm they kept emailing me and everything, and I was like, well, I don't really have time right now. And they were like, well, can't you just take off one weekend? So then I was like, I checked with some friends of mine that I know had been overseas. I checked with Muhammad. He was like, oh, yeah, they're cool. So then once they got the clearance, I was like, okay, well, let's do it.
All right.
Congratulations. That was in 2013. I went there and did a workshop. I was there. It took me almost as long to fly there as the number of days I was actually there. I mean, they had you busy for those 2 or 3 days of workshops and things. It was nice though. It was a really good experience.
Wow.
And I had never really taught a dance class or nothing like that. But I met my Soul Train idol from Tyrone Proctor. Shout out to Tyrone Proctor, International House of Hacking. I met him. He was at the airport with my name. He was the only black person in the airport. He was like, what? He's like, I was waiting for you at JFK. He's like, I thought you lived in New York. I'm like, no, I live in Chicago.
Oh, Oh my
Oh.
God, that's a scandal.
Oh, so me and him are like real good friends. I'm glad to have met him. And since then, we've gone to a couple, like the House of Omni when they had their 35th anniversary ball. I went to that, and they during that week leading up to it, they tried to have a ball summit, or I'm not just sure exactly what they called it, but they had workshops and screenings and a panel discussion. Like, we had a really good Vogue panel discussion one night. It wasn't a lot. More people should have been there, but stuff takes off slow. But we had like Caesar, Lamore, Caesar Valentine, and who else was on that panel? Derek Extravo was on it. Oz Ultra Omni, who's like running the whole Eurasian chapter of Omni. My friend Marina Ultra Omni from Finland / Russia. I mean, just it was almost like a little family reunion. But had a nice panel discussion talking about different aspects of voguing and just the whole community and more people should have been there. We got to have more things like that to get together and keep our legacy alive and sharing information.
Wow, that is so amazing to hear that you guys are doing things like that. That is such a privilege.
Yeah.
Now, let's go into a little bit about the politics of this ballroom stuff. Here's the yucky stuff, that ucky stuff. Y'all ready?
Oh, sure.
All right, so how do you guys, deal with the situations, when it's time to become legendary or icon status?
It's been pretty messy here. Like I said, that's kind of been one of the drives that the newer generation is all about, becoming, legendary and this, that, and the other. Pretty much, I mean, I appreciate the anybody else thinking of me as an icon or a legend or a mentor or whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me what you call it, as long as you're not trying to take away from what I've done, what I know I've done. Or, even worse, when you're trying to add your ballroom resume to make it seem like you've done just as much when you haven't.
Okay, fame rider.
So, I mean, it's like, yes, I mean, I know a lot of, it takes a village. There's lots of people who've been instrumental in the ballroom development of Chicago. But the whole icon thing had gotten out of hand because the way we developed here is a little different than the way things developed on the East Coast. So some of the things that they apply in New York wouldn't necessarily apply in Chicago. Like, pretty much people consider me a Midwest icon, not necessarily a national icon, which I don't mind that breakup. I think this is where I was active. This is So it's like when I go to New York, if I go to New York and try to compete or something, I don't expect to ride on the title of icon. Those people could care less. But yeah, it was just the timeline kind of got screwed up. I'm just so glad that I was keeping as much record as I could over the years. Everybody, I don't knock people for their rendition of history and how things played out, but sometimes it's like, you're lying.
Oh, okay.
Just stop lying. You don't have to pad your resume. All you got to do is stick with what it is that you did. We love you for it. We love you and your contributions.
Terrible!
But don't say that you were at the Battle of Waterloo when you weren't at the Battle of Waterloo. Or at the Battle. I was at the Battle of the Bulge. No, you weren't at the Battle of the Bulge. Or I did this. there was something else that was going on back in the day during the time that history was unfolding. Not only were people coming from out of town saying, the biggest one was, I'm in the house extravaganza. Like, we didn't call up, do you know so-and-so extravaganza? No, okay, that's what we thought. Thank you.
Okay.
Talk about reading.
We had that going on. You had people locally, once they started seeing how we were starting to get all popular, just in the nightclub scene, they started claiming that they did this and they did that. And, oh, yeah, I was in avant-garde. No, you weren't. It's like,
wow.
I just hate that when people try to, and then they turn it around to you like you're trying to discredit them. No, I'm not trying to discredit you. I'm just offering a little correction in your timeline. That's all.
Okay. I believe the extravaganzas are more considered shoes in New York.
Well, see, because for a while, with the whole Madonna thing, extravaganza, that name is so popular. Everybody wants to be a extravaganza. So, of course, you're going to have, that's when you know you're doing good, when people are lying and trying to imitate and trying to, so my hat's off to them.
Okay.
For just making it through time. And I remember Hector telling me about the first days of when the Latinos started going to the balls. I guess it was like the black children and the Asian children were at the balls, and then like Hector said that he had to, if he won a trophy, he would not get out of the ballroom except for maybe the top of it, like a hood ornament, because it was just so scandalous about like new people infiltrating your territory. So I guess they gave Latinos a really hard time in the earlier ball days, but so now they're the shit now. They're known all around the world. They got members over there in Russia. I mean, a lot of the houses now are starting to branch out outside the United States to get their chapters and whatnot. So that's really interesting to see.
Extravaganza power. I love them, those stuff. I love everybody involved in the scene.
Another thing too, I would say about ballroom people, it's like, okay, they have this facade that they put on, in the ballrooms, and they put up their shield. But you get them outside of the ball setting, and they can be some of the nicest people you ever want to meet.
Oh, yes.
I've noticed a lot, like New York, they have a lot of other events where all the houses get together outside of ballroom competition just to be more like family days, And we need more of that because that helps promote the camaraderie in the community, and not constantly running on adrenaline competing against each other. I mean, you need some of that too. But we are a community. There's no way around it. And we're starting to, and so I'm glad I was a part of it, earlier on. So I don't know, I'm just kind of rambling now, but you can, take me which way you have to go.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about, some of the transgender people in the murderings and silicone use and their rights and do we believe that they should be a part of society? Yes. Will society accept them? Maybe. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, they should be there as human beings. I mean, see, like when I was younger, the issue was not necessarily, they hadn't really gotten it. I'm sure that, there's always been transgender people throughout history. But when I was younger, it was more like if you stood out because you were flamboyant or whatever. Now, I said earlier that, people can kind of tell that I probably was going to grow up and be gay, but I wasn't as out there as some other people, a few people I went to high school with. if I saw them coming down the hallway, I would almost like freeze up because I would feel uncomfortable to be around them only because I knew that they